mean, it's shocking. In many ways, I'm quite glad for like new media and all of that, because I can imagine how many people in the past have been victim to the kind of stunts that Blake Lively and her husband have pulled, now apparently in conjunction with Taylor Swift, who has oddly decided to distance herself from the couple, which is an interesting development. Look, I went through the 160-page timeline and evidence document that Justin published on his website in detail, as well as what he presented to the court, because it was fascinating.
It was fascinating.
I mean, if even only half of what he's saying is true, Blake Lively is a complete nightmare. This is an actress that was hired to be in the film, and yet she's asking the director, who's also her lead, for the cuts and the edits, and she's decided to take over the wardrobe, and she gets to choose her wardrobe and they pay for it. That's unprecedented. No one's ever heard of that. And then she has the audacity to call her husband and Taylor Swift her dragons, and that Justin Baldoni and the producer tried to sexually harass this woman, this Mad Hatter, who no sane man would go near with a 10-foot barge pole. It is so offensive and so ridiculous. I mean, I urge everyone to just read through everything that Justin Baldoni.
I mean, it is utterly
shocking.
It's compelling.
Shocking.
I mean, it's so.
In Blake Lively's amended complaint, she drops a bombshell, claiming that 2 other actresses from the set of It Ends With Us are backing her up. These unnamed stars are allegedly ready to spill the same tea, painting Justin Baldoni as a seriously problematic figure. But did The Hollywood Reporter even dare to cover this brewing storm? Meanwhile, Piers Morgan, never one to shy away from controversy, set his sights on Hollywood and went in.
I mean, it's sort of unprecedented that stars of this magnitude would dish it all out in public to this extent. I mean, she began with, I think, the New York Times, very well orchestrated, obviously, onslaught against him. And I read all that and thought, wow, poor Blake Lively. I've got to say, I'm not really thinking that now. The more I read about this, the more I think stain on all your gruesome houses. The publicists involved, the actors involved, everybody involved seems to be absolutely horrible.
Well, you say we haven't seen it before, but we kind of have with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. And
well, that's true, yeah, but that only came out in the end in court, right?
And, I mean, that was Johnny did something I think a lot of people took notes to. Like,
yeah, that's true.
A receipt, he dropped all the evidence, and I think Team Justin, which, you know, same PR rep who repped Johnny, it was behind this. Blake sort of saw that as, oh, you're trying to use an Amber Heard tactic, but she didn't even realize, like, that's not a good defense. That means you're guilty because Blake, Amber lied. It's been astonishing. Like, I just jumped off my live. We had 30,000 people watching the new hearing.
This time, Lively was his target. In a blistering live TV showdown, Morgan didn't hold back, tearing into Lively in a way that left audiences gasping. The heated exchange exploded online, with fans and critics alike picking sides. And while Lively tried to defend herself, Morgan's razor-sharp words left her momentarily stunned, turning this into one of the most talked-about TV clashes in recent memory. Now, let's not forget the film at the heart of all this chaos. It Ends With Us, based on Colleen Hoover's 2016 blockbuster novel. The story delves into deep, gut-wrenching themes, tackling domestic turmoil and misconduct in a way that has resonated with millions. Lively steps into the role of Lily Bloom, a woman caught in a love story that spirals from passion into absolute chaos. Given the raw, emotional weight of the film, marketing, it was always going to be tricky business. But here's where things get messy. Some critics believe Lively's promotional tactics completely missed the mark. Many say the approach came off as tone-deaf, especially considering the intensely sensitive subject matter. Now, with all this backlash, the question remains, will this film recover from the storm swirling around it? Blake Lively's promotional rollout for It Ends With Us went off the rails fast. Take, for instance, her hair care line launch, which had people scratching their heads, and the introduction of themed cocktails, including one named Rile You Wait, a reference to the film's deeply problematic character. These marketing moves didn't just miss the mark, they set off a firestorm. Critics slammed the promotions, calling them tone-deaf cash grabs that trivialized the film's powerful message. Suddenly, the conversation wasn't about the story's harrowing themes, it was about whether the entire campaign was just a money-making spectacle. But Lively, she's standing firm. She's made it clear that her involvement in It Ends With Us wasn't just about playing Lily Bloom. She was running the show behind the scenes, too. She took on major producer duties and isn't shy about making that known. In her own words, "The work I did as a producer was far more all-consuming than anything I did playing Lily. I just did it all. There's nothing I didn't touch on this film." And then, enter Justin Baldoni's side of the story. According to him, Lively wasn't just shaping the film, she was pulling some serious strings behind the scenes. He claims she wanted to rework a pivotal rooftop scene and went all out to make it happen. How? By allegedly bringing in her A-list circle, including Ryan Reynolds and none other than Taylor Swift. Here's where it gets wild. Baldoni says he was invited to Lively's lavish New York penthouse for a discussion, only for Swift to suddenly make an appearance. And just like that, she praised Lively's script, subtly nudging things in Lively's direction. Baldoni claims he felt backed into a corner, as if Lively had strategically used Swift's star power to push her own creative vision.
We need to talk about this picture that Ryan Reynolds posted last night. Yes, right after their very first pre-trial, Ryan posted this selfie of him and Blake on his Instagram stories, basically telling us there's nothing wrong, everything is fine. I find it funny in Blake Lively's complaint, she says she has so much anxiety and pain from this smear campaign that she can't even go outside, which is obviously a lie because she's outside right now and smiling. And what annoys me the most is they've yet to put out an apology for anything. Any of those rude interviews, the blackface, not a single apology, but we know they know how to write apologies because they wrote one for Justin Baldoni. But they seem to be so privileged that they think we are all wrong. Like we are not all reading the same things they are reading. As if we don't have the evidence, we do. Like Baldoni's team took your 84-page complaint and tripled it. But I'm still patiently waiting on the amended filings from Blake Lively's team. They claim to have more evidence, so let's see what they didn't include in their bombshell news.
If true, this wasn't just a simple pitch. It was a power move on a whole new level. And just when you thought this saga couldn't get any messier, Baldoni drops another bombshell. He claims that Lively didn't just push for creative control. She allegedly played hardball with none other than Taylor Swift's music. According to him, she hinted that Swift's haunting track, My Tears Ricochet, wouldn't be included in the film's trailer unless her editorial demands were met. Baldoni even points to a text exchange with a Sony executive where Lively's approval of the trailer was allegedly tied to her level of creative involvement. If true, this means she may have been leveraging her close friendship with Swift to pressure production into bending to her will. But wait, it gets worse. Lively's negative press isn't just about her alleged behind-the-scenes power moves. Reports claim she has a history of problematic behavior on set. On a simple favor, whispers of bullying began circulating, with some insiders saying she contributed to a toxic work environment. Assistant director Barbara Seaman even resigned over the ordeal, later revealing that Lively's alleged actions left her feeling distressed and completely drained. And now, these resurfacing claims, mixed with the legal drama swirling around Lively, are raising serious questions about how she treats her co-stars and crew. As if that wasn't enough, an old 2016 interview has been dug up, and it's not doing her any favors. Lively's responses in the interview were slammed as sarcastic and dismissive, especially when asked about her pregnancy and her role in cafe society. The journalist involved didn't hold back, later calling the experience a nightmare and describing an unbearable tension throughout their exchange. With all these allegations piling up, Lively's reputation is on shaky ground, and the question remains: can she bounce back from all this, or is the damage already done? That resurfaced interview? It only added fuel to the fire, making Lively's already rocky promotional efforts even harder to manage. But now, the legal war between Blake Lively and her It Ends With Us co-star, Justin Baldoni, has just exploded with new developments. Lively's legal team scrambled to get an extension for filing an amended complaint, hoping to introduce fresh evidence against Baldoni. But the judge wasn't having it. The request was denied, with the court making it crystal clear this case needs to stick to the schedule. Meanwhile, Lively is doubling down. In her complaint, she claims that multiple women expressed serious concerns about Baldoni's behavior on set, making the controversy surrounding him even more intense. But here's where it gets messy. Insiders are now pushing back, saying Lively allegedly named 2 actresses who she claimed had problems with Baldoni, only for sources to later deny this as completely false. Lively maintains that she was only standing up for those who felt uncomfortable, but critics? They're calling this reckless, saying that throwing around unverified accusations could seriously damage reputations if there's no solid proof. Now, according to sources, the 2 actresses dragged into this were Jenny Slate and Isabella Farah, even though they reportedly never wanted their names made public. Initially, Lively's amended lawsuit didn't name them, out of respect for their privacy. But when her claims started facing serious skepticism, their names suddenly surfaced the next day. A spokesperson for Lively insists that these women gave their permission to share their communications, but critics aren't buying it. Many believe that they were thrown under the bus, used as pawns to bolster Lively's case and deflect attention from her and Ryan Reynolds.
Well, Blake No Teeth Lively has experienced yet another court loss. So she wanted to amend her lawsuit against Justin Baldoni, right? The judge said, okay, cool, you have until Valentine's Day, February 14th. And now Blake Lively was like, oh, hold on, wait a minute, we're not ready to present yet. And she was asking for an extension until March 5th. And then the judge said, okay, why? And she's like, duh, because I'm Khaleesi and I said so. And then the judge was like, LOL, yeah, no, I'll give you until Monday. I'll give you a couple extra days. You have until Monday, but you don't have until March 5th. And so now she has until this upcoming Monday, which is February 17th, to figure out what she's going to amend in her complaint. And initially there were rumors that the amendment was going to come with some sort of statement from Jenny Slate, who played Justin Baldoni's sister in It Ends With Us. And so people were assuming that maybe Jenny was going to be some sort of star witness, that this was going to be the smoking gun. Maybe she had something that she witnessed that she was going to bring to the table, right? Well, then all the internet sleuths went and dug up an old interview that she did on the Anna Faris podcast where she basically pokes fun at hitting her ex-boyfriend, which doesn't really make her a strong star witness after all, which may possibly be why Blake's team is now asking for this extension, because what they were planning on bringing to the table has now fallen through.
With this legal circus unfolding, one thing is certain: this battle is far from over. As if the legal chaos surrounding It Ends With Us wasn't already spiraling, a new layer of controversy has now emerged. Insiders claim that studio executives are in panic mode, worried that the ongoing Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni feud could torpedo the film's release. Behind the scenes, sources say there's been heated debate about whether the movie should be delayed, rebranded, or even shelved indefinitely. Executives reportedly fear that with Lively's allegations, Baldoni's pushback, and the backlash over the film's marketing, audiences may be too distracted by the drama to focus on the story itself. And now, there's whispers of a divided production team. Some members allegedly believe Lively is weaponizing her producer role to reshape the film in her image, while others think Baldoni is being unfairly painted as the villain without hard evidence to back the claims. Even more shocking, rumors are swirling that major Hollywood players, possibly even Reynolds and Swift themselves, may be privately working behind the scenes to mitigate the damage before it completely derails the project. One industry insider put it bluntly: this film was supposed to be an emotional, powerful story. Now, it's just a scandal magnet. With legal battles raging, reputations on the line, and the studio scrambling for damage control, the question remains, will It Ends With Us even make it to theaters? Or will this Hollywood showdown bury it before it ever gets the chance? Just when it seemed like the It Ends With Us controversy couldn't get any bigger, new behind-the-scenes leaks have thrown the entire production into absolute chaos. Insiders claim that private emails and text messages between Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, and studio executives have been leaked, revealing just how messy and tense things have been behind the scenes. Some messages allegedly show Lively demanding certain script rewrites and production changes, while others suggest Baldoni pushed back aggressively, insisting that the film stay true to his original vision. And here's where it gets ugly. Sources say some of these leaked communications hint at deeper tensions between Lively and the studio itself. In one alleged exchange, An executive expressed frustration over Lively's level of control, calling her approach disruptive and overreaching. But that's not all. Another leak reportedly suggests Baldoni felt pressured to approve decisions he wasn't comfortable with, especially after Lively brought in big names like Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift to influence the project. Now, with leaked messages surfacing, the studio is scrambling to contain the fallout. Some sources say lawyers have already been brought in to investigate how these private communications got out, but others believe it's too late to undo the damage. And the biggest question now? How much more is going to leak? And will this film survive the Hollywood war zone it's found itself in? As if the It Ends With Us production wasn't already a Hollywood minefield, a shocking new twist has just surfaced, one that could change everything. Multiple sources are now claiming that a former crew member is preparing to come forward with bombshell allegations about what really went down behind the scenes.
Ruled on the Wayfarer party's request to squash subpoenas, and they got a big win, not a unilateral win, because the goddess of gaslighting did score a narrow victory as well. I've got the judge's ruling, and let's go over it together. All right, Judge Lyman writes, Wayfarer Studios, LLC, Justin Baldoni, Jamie Heath, Steve Sarowitz, It Ends With Us Movie, LLC, Melissa Nathan, The Agency Group, and Jennifer Abel moved to squash subpoenas issued to cellular providers AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile by Blake Lively. For the reasons that follow, the motion is granted in part and denied in part. Lively served the subpoenas on or around February 12th. The subpoenas requested all documents concerning ingoing and outgoing calls or text messages related to telephone numbers belonging to certain Wayfarer parties and related individuals.
This anonymous insider, who reportedly worked closely with both Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, is said to have first-hand knowledge of the power struggles, backdoor deals, and manipulative tactics that plagued the film's production. Rumors suggest that this insider has detailed receipts, possibly emails, texts, or even recorded conversations that could expose the truth about everything from Lively's alleged behind-the-scenes influence to Baldoni's reactions to the growing controversy. If this evidence comes to light, it could tip the scales in one direction, or completely destroy both their reputations. And here's where things get even wilder. There are whispers that the studio is rushing to handle this quietly, possibly through legal action or settlements to keep certain details from ever reaching the public. But if this insider is determined to speak, there may be no stopping the Hollywood earthquake that's about to hit. With this latest revelation, one thing is clear. This scandal is far from over, and the truth may finally be on the verge of being exposed. Just when it seemed like things couldn't spiral any further, a new layer of betrayal has been uncovered in the It Ends With Us disaster. And this time, it's coming from inside the camp. According to insiders, someone from Blake Lively's own circle may have been secretly feeding information to the press, leaking key details about her behind-the-scenes behavior, private legal strategies, and even her alleged attempts to control the film's direction. The question now is, who's the mole? Industry whispers suggest that the leak isn't just random. This could be a calculated move from someone who wants Lively's influence diminished or is protecting their own interests. Some even believe it could be a former friend, a frustrated crew member, or even someone inside the studio who's had enough of the chaos. And Lively? She's reportedly furious, scrambling to tighten her inner circle and find out who betrayed her. Sources claim she's demanding loyalty from those closest to her, even cutting off certain people she suspects of turning against her. Meanwhile, the studio is in full-blown damage control mode, trying to keep the film afloat while navigating the growing storm of internal conflicts, leaks, and explosive allegations. With tensions at an all-time high, one thing is certain: this isn't just a scandal anymore. It's a Hollywood war, and the next move could change everything. And just when you thought the It Ends With Us chaos couldn't get any more explosive, a major Hollywood power player is now being dragged into the mess, turning this controversy into a full-blown industry showdown. New reports suggest that a top executive at Sony, one who has been closely involved in the film's production, has been secretly working behind the scenes to distance the studio from the scandal. Allegedly, this executive has been holding closed-door meetings, discussing damage control strategies, and even considering cutting ties with certain members of the cast and crew to protect the film's release. And here's where it gets even messier. Insiders claim that Blake Lively got wind of these conversations, and she's not taking it lightly. Sources close to Lively say she feels betrayed, believing that the studio is turning its back on her after she poured everything into this project, both as an actress and a producer. She's reportedly considering legal action if any moves are made to push her out of the film's marketing or minimize her role in the final cut. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni's camp is staying eerily quiet, leading to speculation that he might be negotiating his own deal with the studio to distance himself from the controversy before it's too late. With the film's future now hanging by a thread, one thing is clear. This isn't just about a movie anymore. It's about power, influence, and survival in one of Hollywood's messiest behind-the-scenes battles. However, Justin Baldoni isn't backing down. He's taken a firm and public stance, calling out what he sees as a carefully orchestrated media campaign by Lively's team, a strategic move designed to control the narrative. And while the full truth is still unraveling, one thing is certain: Hollywood is watching. Meanwhile, entertainment journalist Owens has stepped into the fire, blasting the alleged tactics at play and questioning the bigger implications for the industry. Is this just another celebrity PR battle, or is it exposing the darker side of power and influence in Hollywood? As tensions reach a breaking point, this feud is no longer just about It Ends With Us. It's about how far stars are willing to go to shape their public image and what happens when the truth becomes a battleground. So, what do you think? Was Blake Lively genuinely standing up for others? Or did she cross the line in this Hollywood war? Is Baldoni a victim of a media takedown? Or is there more to the story than we know? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more breaking Hollywood drama.